Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another broadcast of the Overwatch University League for the EU region. We are heading into week 3 now, and we have a fantastic match coming up for you guys today. Once again, you may be wondering, who's that new voice you usually hear Energy being? Well, he's sitting right with me, as he is going to be not doing the hosting duties for today. He's going to be right beside me, however. And how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. It's a weekday, so definitely work and other general fatigue, but I'm doing good and I'm happy to see two teams that we see pretty frequently in this league and we've casted for many times in the past come back and have a fight between the two of them.
Of course, it is going to be quite an interesting one because we know most of these guys quite personally as well. So we
Yeah.
didn't really get to see any trash talk between the teams, and it seems like both have actually been heading up with a lot of preparation going into this. But for you guys at home who may be thinking, what the hell are these guys talking about? We are, of course, going to be seeing OurMercyCan'tRez taking on the Slow Cookers, a very consistent fixture from our experience, and two teams, as Energy said, that we do get to see very often.
Yeah, we've casted the slow cooker, maybe 6 or 7 times already? And our Mercy Can't Res, who previously went by Our Anna Can't Aim, we have casted for nearly as many times. So it's definitely like a fixture coming out of this with two teams that we know very well and who we talk to pretty frequently on our own server, which you can join. The link will be coming up in the chat later on. But yeah.
Of course, if you guys out there would like to join us as well, we do have some community things going on. We've got a very nice small subset of the Overwatch University League community who do frequently join us, and you guys are more than welcome as well. We've got a lot of people coming in, and it's great to see just how much community involvement we can get out of it.
Yeah.
It's brilliant to see all of the time around. So do come in, join us, and also, because we're on Energy's stream, make sure to give them a quick follow on Twitch whilst you're at it.
Please do. Also, if you're interested in our community personally, on Friday nights going forward, we're going to be doing a movie night in Gmod. So, if you're up for watching movies with a bunch of people talking shit about what's going on, feel free to join us. We would love to have you. But yeah.
It was a great time last week around as well because we got to watch the life of Brian. Brilliant new fixture coming forward, and hopefully we'll also be doing some more custom games and doing quite a few new casting events. And I have to say, the response that we've been getting for the casting work that we've been doing recently has been absolutely phenomenal. I've particularly enjoyed working with a lot of the newer casters going forward, and I'm really excited to announce that I'm really proud to have found him, and I'm so glad that he's going to be coming forward as well. But Tough on Dirt will be taking my place on the Overwatch University League mainstream for EU alongside Energy on Saturday.
Yeah.
So make sure to go and cheer for him. He's my boy, and he is a great play-by-play caster.
Yeah, he's newer to this, and we love to see, a bunch of new enthusiasm coming out. We're going to be doing the mainstream on Saturday, and if you could come out and support us, that would be wonderful. Yeah. So, this is going to be a fun match. If you don't know anything about who we are or what we do, we are both casters for the Overwatch University League. We also cast other things, but generally we cast Overwatch University League right now. And the Overwatch University League is the biggest casual group of players, casters, coaches, and everything to come together and play Overwatch in a competitive setting. We are all about helping people get better at what they do, whether that's playing, casting, coaching. If you'd like to cast, we love helping new people get their bearings on that. We love helping, people just get better at what they do, and we're especially happy to help people get better at what we do, because it's great to do that.
And from the player side as well, it's very testimonial to actually take a look at some of the people who've been in this league. We take a look at outside of this game, who's actually in our chat. Big shout out to you, Harvey, who's gone from being such a consistent player to at the same time also becoming an incredible shot caller for the team and really improving his play going forward. And it's been great to see players like him progress and just incredibly just get so good at what they love doing. In this game, however, we've seen players like Turtleye, we've seen players like Proxmo, Hasomi, Aze, Pichu, and Homemade Pizza just climb through the ranks and also become so consistent. Of course, because these two teams, their rosters have been fairly set going forward, and since the very beginning of the Overwatch University League, they have come together as teams, more importantly, and the competition here, even though it's a friendly rivalry, is going to be absolutely fierce tonight. And to be honest with you guys, I am absolutely looking forward to seeing what these guys put forward for us, and I really do hope that when it comes to it, I'm going to get to go a little bit rap god for you guys this evening, because what we get to see from these teams is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, one thing we do have to bring up, we have to bring up, the people that we normally see, that we normally call out on both of these teams while we're waiting for this game to get going. From the Slow Cooker side, we mostly talk about Pichu, Homemade Pizza, and Symmetra, because they are the most consistently mind-blowing plays coming out of them. Pichu with his Roadhog, so many hooks, so famous for those hooks, famous for causing salt. It's great. Not even because he's salty in chat or anything, just because people get salty when they get hooked. Homemade Pizza, crazy good Reinhardt. We see him play all the time. He is so good at making space for his team. He's consistently very good with his Earth Shatters. Symmetra, who plays Symmetra pretty much all the time, and that's notable by itself, but the plays that he comes up with are just insane. And on OurMercyCan'tRez, we have Madme, who is great, and also we have, we have Proxmo, who is very, very good at the McCree every single time we see him play it, and Turtle Eye, who is a GM Mercy main, which is not something we get to cast every day.
Of course, looking at the hit scan players as well, we did notice before the game going in, when we were giving a good bit of pre-game chatter going forward, that the consistency of play coming through from these guys is absolutely amazing, and it's something that which we do not get to see very often, especially in these casual leagues, where sometimes play can be on fire one week and then just off kilter next week, and then just going around and round and around. But these guys, both teams, incredibly consistent, and obviously every single time they come into play, they play to win, and both of these teams having that track record with them already makes this game a very exciting fixture.
We specifically brought up Mirai before this. We generally don't get to shout him out too much on the stream, because he's not usually doing the big crazy plays that we get to shout out every single time. He's not always the one who's filling up. Yeah, he's not always the one who's filling up the right-hand side, but he is always extremely consistent. He's very good with that DPS. He's very good with the hit scan on his soldier when he plays it, and it's just always good coming out from him. We don't always get to talk about it, but he does get the credit for doing that. Also, Demu and Hisomi on the other side are just always consistently very good playing their tanks.
Well, we are going to get to trash talk the teams coming very soon, because we are now going into this game. Demu leading that charge already. Looks like the side of OurMercyCan'tRez are going to be going straight through choke. Of course, Homemade Pizza not keeping too far forward as that Reinhardt pick. No, oh my god, already the hook coming through as Hisomi pulled straight in, but the pull in return as Madmate is proving he is the better Pichu, and Proxmo, with that Hanzo of all things, picks up the kill down onto A's. No extra and a healing coming through. Soldier gonna be getting Demu out of his mech. Pichu will be taken down in this engage already with some beautiful headshots coming out of Mirai as Symmetra doesn't get the better of Proxmo, and this is a very clean first take of point A on King's Row here.
It was a nice take. Proxmo was putting out fairly consistent damage, and Madma, with that early pick, was able to push them in, and that was enough for them to just start snowballing on the enemy team. Homemade Pizza is now playing a bit better as Reinhardt. We do see him hanging out behind that corner, which is very good. It minimizes the amount of space that his team will poke out, potentially take damage. It also minimizes the amount of damage that his shield itself will take, and that is very good.
And of course, Hisomi is just going to be leading this forward into the street phase. Mad May on that Roadhog been very consistent so far. We're now going to be seeing Demu taking to the skies and playing the Farah. Turtleye on his quite famous or infamous, we can call it either way here. He's going to be on that Mercy. Of course, the main coming out as Homemade Pizza is going to be the first person taken down in this engage. That's going to concede another corner of Streets phase, as it looks like OurMercyCan'tRez are going to push one more corner out of this. Slow Cookers not going to be getting to the better of this engage, as Pichu's going to be pulled in. Flygon getting another pick for himself there, as Homemade Pizza pushing forward now. He's the big beefy Reinhardt, and he needs to make sure that this is not going to go any further, but it's Proximo getting the kill down onto Symmetra. Homemade Pizza getting the nano boost. He is unstoppable, and he's going into the backline as he lands that Earth Shatter down onto only one. Pichu getting a headshot of his own now going forward. Turtleye getting the two-man res, and that's beautiful that it now shows up in the kill feed as well. Pichu going whole hog on everyone here, pushing people off, and Mirai coming in for more dig big plays with that Soldier Tactical Visor, as Hisomi is going to be left out to dry here, and that's our first successful defense coming from the Slow Cookers.
Definitely the teleporter was used to amazing effect, getting people back up to the fight much faster. Even though they went down and they did not have the Mercy to res, quite like OurMercyCan'tRez with Turtleye, they were able to hold that point specifically because they were just able to stream back. Homemade Pizza was able to come back in, get his ult off. Even if it didn't hit everyone, his presence was enough to kind of swing the fight back in the favor, and every single time a person went down, they were just coming right back. They didn't even need the res to get it off.
Of course, the teleporter coming in did really take the attacking side by surprise. Not people being able to get back into the action as quickly as possible. Gonna be no real switches coming through from this, as damage is traded across the board. That will be the Earth Shatter going straight into Pizza's barrier. Proximo not gonna be able to follow up with that Deadeye, as Pichu is just gonna be ducking, diving, and dodging. Demu getting that rocket barrage though down onto one, as Flygon gets himself another kill. This is a very aggressive Zenyatta, as once again Homemade Pizza with a huge Earth Shatter, but this is going to be the point. The teleporter once again as two-man res comes through. Again, Demu once again looking for more picks as he gets 2 kills for himself, and Madmaid proving to be the alpha Roadhog in this engage. We're going to have to wait to see whether Pichu is going to come back with a vengeance now.
Sadly, because Symmetra's teleporter did have that one charge used up, it didn't come back up with the full charges like it should have. It just came back up with that half percentage, which is not enough. They need that shield generator coming into this last point if they're going to survive with the Symmetra.
Does look like Homemade Pizza is going to be left out to dry here, as he's hooked in once again, but he gets the reverse counter charge, and that's Hisomi taken out of the fight. Pichu gonna come back with the vengeance that we had foretold. You can call me the Prophet, but he gets the kill onto Madmay.
The Prophet douche doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
Well,
Sadly.
I mean, we can go for Danny Boy. I'm happy with the Prophet Danny Boy going forward. I have been thinking about taking Dodge off the register for my name and just going with Dan because it's a little bit easier for people to say.
Yeah.
Of course, going back into this game though, Hisomi and Pizza just going to be trading blows around this payload, as both teams vying for position and looking for the damage trades. Nothing too aggressive coming forward, as Madmay has switched over onto the Diva. Homemade Pizza getting the entry pick here, keeping the Slow Cookers at an advantage, as Flygon will be taken out of the fight almost immediately. Beautiful fire strike work coming through from him, and he already has the ultimate available to him again. 5 ultimates available from the Slow Cookers and the shield generator as well.
So pretty much every single ult is out on the table right now for Slow Cookers, and nearly every ult is coming out as well for OurMercyCan'tRez. The only ones that are down are the Zenyatta and the Diva. The Diva really isn't exactly vital. It's probably best coming into this last point to just get people away, but everything else can give them a good advantage if they can trade this properly.
Of course, those trades are being the aim of the game here, as there is no dive coming forward, and that's something that we don't very often see. Usually we get to see dive compositions, but this is a fairly standard run-of-the-mill comp. but Demu gonna get hooked in. Oh my goodness, Pichu going absolutely ham there with that hog as Pizza uses this as his moment to start pushing forward. Hosomi looks a little bit scared on that Reinhardt, but he gets that bait as soon as that shield goes down. He gets the Earth Shatter, and Pichu is going to be trading this back as Homemade Pizza doesn't whiff the ultimate because that is Hosomi outplaying him on his own pick. But the defense once again will prove to be strong from the Slow Cookers. But that was an incredible Reinhardt versus Reinhardt matchup there.
One thing that, like, I was on Pichu at that moment when the Reinhardt versus Reinhardt was happening, but Pichu came in the back, was doing the flanking Roadhog bit that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. He got Proximo immediately into the hole and took another kill down right after. It was such a good play for him, and it looks like it's going to be coming out again, to be honest.
And he does get the pick onto Turtle, but that's a man who can fly back up, and that's not going to be a self get any kills as Demu gets the 2 kills with the Rocket Barrage. Now Pichu will beat a Nano Hog, but he's going to be stunned out of his ultimate and taken down almost immediately. Madmay getting in 2 kills for himself here as Symmetra. It makes that the third. The push still coming through as this is the end of the King's Row map. Now Mirai trying to find himself in on Soldier here. That will be Homemade Pizza going purple. Does have the purple effective fleet off of him, but he does go down eventually. One more hook does land through, but that's a beautiful shield coming through from Madmay. That's an ace. That's a Deadeye even coming down. No kills secured. Madmay is now going to be the recipient of a nice little nano boost, and he does get some kills, and that is a almost anticlimactic end to that round, which had so many great fights.
It was very close in the end. They barely have any time. If the Slow Cooker can push it in slightly faster, then they may be having another round coming into this, because there is only 6.4 seconds on the clock.
Of course, taking a look at what the Slow Cookers can be doing on their defensive side, they are very well known for defense, so gonna have to see how it works when the shoe is on the other. What do you think the teams need to switch up here in terms of playstyles?
I think the Slow Cooker's probably going to stick with a similar thing to what they normally go with. Weezing is switching off to Lucio, but they are fairly aggressive just with Pichu and with Mirai running the way that they are. They need to be able to protect their star players coming into this, and if they can do that, they'll probably be fine. What they do need to do is they need to take Turtle Eye into account, because Turtle Eye can swing an entire fight. The Grandmaster Mercy main is one of the things that's going to have to be focused pretty much immediately, or else this fight is going to go down and go very long before it is actually done with.
Of course, Turtle showing in that last just how good his positioning can be. We didn't see him being the recipient of too many bullets to the head, which is quite a good thing when it comes to playing Mercy, really.
Yeah, basically what you want to do with your skills on Mercy is stay alive and keep your team healthy if at all possible. And Turtle Eye is extremely good at doing both of those things. He knows when to heal, he knows when to damage boost, he knows how to keep himself alive so that he can get those reses off at really key moments. And seeing him on defense with the Mercy is probably going to be even more impressive than seeing him on attack previously.
Oh, and I'm liking this start coming out from the Slow Cookers already, not taking that main door and waiting for a little while before straight to this choke point. However, whether they go to the cinema is another matter, as it looks like
they're going for
Hotel. Homemade Pizza will put a fire strike straight into a defense matrix as Flygon on the backline, pumping down heals and pumping down damage simultaneously. Proximo putting a lot of damage out, but it's his homie who's finishing off that kill. Beautiful hook from Pichu once again before he gets charged into a wall and just trades off the Reinhardt. A's will be slept on this point. Demu not going to be going down just yet as Flygon is forced to reposition. Pichu is going to be in the 1v1 versus the D.Va, but that's an unfair fight as 4 people are going onto him and Weezing. Weezing does get slept. Madmay looking for that kill now. That D.Va is a very brutal pick when it comes to up close, but it's Demu who's outshining the rest of the team here as he picks up 3 beautiful kills on that Pharah.
Symmetra does have the most advanced percentage on her team right now, or on his team right now, because he has that 72%, 73% moving into this. If he can get a shield generator up, or even, you know, a teleporter on the back lines, and maybe that will do a very good job for them going forward. He just needs to be tricky about putting those things down, which, as we know, he is extremely good at that.
Changing up the strategy now from the Slow Cooker boys, as they are going to be taking the cinema push and going directly up the alleyway. That will be Homemade Pizza just missing out on that jump, but that doesn't seem to matter too much, as he's managed to get himself up there in the end anyways. So we are on the high ground. It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground, or is it? We're going to have to see just next.
Oh,
Homemade Pizza
Demu's
trying
so
to get the
close.
fire strike down. Demu does not manage to pick up that kill. It's going to be A's here, trying to duck, trying to dive, and trying to dip a little bit to get the heals.
Demu
keep his team
down!
alive. Mirai getting the kill onto Demu there. Beautiful shooting coming through from the Electro
And
Cowboy. Make that two.
Flygon!
There's the two-man
The two
res
res.
coming through as Flygon and Demu back up in the air once again, as Demu's going to be getting instant revenge with that one kill. Rocket Barrage comes down, but Demu takes it, is taken out of the air by the Fly Swatter Cowboy. That will be a nano boost onto the Diva as Mirai just jumps back down with that nice and casual little roll. Gotta think that's going to hurt as he comes down, and it looks like we're back to skirmish mode as the rest of the team coming back in. Pichu now is going to be Nano Whole Hog, does get slept straight away. Beautiful position from Flygon, but he does get taken down by Pizza as Symmetra's TP does go down once again. Mad May using that defense. Self-destruct even, does get one kill. Mirai, that's the Cowboy ult going straight into the Diva mech there. Aze does pick Demu out of the sky himself, and we're going to be on the point, and this is probably going to be first point taken in a very elongated trade.
It definitely took a lot longer for them to get that first point than it did for OurMercyCan'tRez to get the first point. But if they can roll through the street phase without, stopping quite like OurMercyCan'tRez did at the end, then they'll be better off and they'll have more time coming into that last point.
Mad May has been impressing me as well. This Diva pick has been coming back into the meta, and it's so great to see him using this to its potential. Just managing to soak up loads of those cooldowns with the defense matrix and also shut things down. But a Pichu hook once again pulls Hisomi into the team. Mirai finishing up that kill himself, as Homemade Pizza's going to use this as an opportunity to charge through, and that's going to be Homemade taken out of the fight. Pichu does secure a kill onto Demu, equalizing this fight somewhat. Mad May comes straight out of that mech, as that is going to be the scrap heap for the Diva, and that's going to be the graveyard for the Hannah Song as well, and that's quite a depressing image, as the payload going to be pushed around the next corner. A very easy street space coming through from the Slow Cookers here.
The OurMercyCan'tRez team will have enough space to push back up to this point. They may be able to hold this out just
oh my
god!
Goodness, the Deadeye getting 2 kills, and that's going to be a very easy one. Rez does come out. Hisomi is going to be killed almost straight away after coming back up, as Homemade Pizza is going to be hammering the Hammerman, and that's Hammerman in onto a massive Korean robot, as Homemade Pizza is going to go purple. Mad May does get down onto the ground, but Pichu using the whole hog now, and Symmetric securing 2 kills of her own. Point will be taken, and Mirai finishes off the scrap heap and does kill off the Korean, as we're going to be heading into the final section.
Pichu's just hanging around in the back, kind of delaying Turtle Eye from getting back to his team, but works out now.
And that's going to be Turtle taken out as well. Turtle does say that he just missed the melee. Kind of difficult to do, but, well, what can you say? No brain, no aim. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful concussion there coming out from Demu, as Pichu's taken off of the side of the map here. Oh my goodness, Hisomi does get slept in the middle of that charge, as Mad May and the rest of the team are going to start pushing the rest of the Slow Cooker boys back to their spawn.
One thing I do have to say, Demu is shining a lot more in this game than he has in previous games that we've seen from him. So this is like really on-point play from him. Turtle Eye switching over to this Mercy this season has been helping him out a lot. And this combo's been working out very well for them.
Did get to speak to him actually about his climb during this season, and it's not necessarily the fact that he is a Mercy one-trick, but Mercy being his comfort pick, which is actually so strong. Hisomi does get baited into the shield there, wastes the Earth Shatter as a result, as Mad May does go purple. Homemade Pizza does get charged into a wall, but breaking it down, coming in from Wheezing now, as that's going to be a huge shield advantage coming into this fight. Hisomi pushing out once again, but Pichu once again with the hook. This turn and the kill with the environmental there. Mirai picking up 2 of his own as Turtle does get the res off, secures another 2 up in the air. Rocket barrage from Demu, but only gets the 1 kill as Weezing's the one to fly swap him out of the air. Very still target whilst that ult is being channeled. Proxmo and Weezing now going at it at a 1-on-1 Soldier versus Lucio, and I have a few feelings about who would love to be doing this as Pichu gets the nano hold going down. Mad May is going to be on the receiving end of a lot of damage. Pichu with another hook as Demu is picked off of the floor. Hasomi once again going purple, and it's going to be him nailed into the ground as this is a very strong final point coming through. Turtle is going to be killed off by Symmetra, and that is a beautiful push on that final point. 2 minutes and 11 left over.
I think one of the main mistakes that I saw coming out was Hasomi. It wasn't even that he was playing bad, it's just that he was getting like quarantined and pushed away from his team so much of the time by Pichu and Homemade Pizza. Homemade Pizza was baiting the, Earth Shatter quite a bit, and it worked sometimes and it didn't work other times, but Hasomi was just fairly out of position pretty frequently because of that hook and because of charges and other things like that. And really, his team doesn't have a shield to hide behind if he's not there.
Of course, both of these teams that do know each other very well are going to be coming in, and they know the points to focus. They know the points of strength. They know the points of weakness. If we can call it weakness, considering both of these teams are really starting to show us just how much they can do here. Friendly rivalry, I'm surprised we're not seeing even... I'm still surprised of how much we're getting to see from these guys.
Yeah, they do play very well, and we have to take into account that OurMercyCan'tRez took this first point in like a minute, a little bit less than a minute, while the Slow Cooker ended up taking it in about the amount of time that they have on the clock now. So it may just come out to whoever can take this first point and whoever might be able to get a little bit of meters on the clock before it actually starts.
And we will be seeing what is going to be on that clock at the end. Proxmo once again taking that Hanzo pick for the very beginning of this point. Going to go straight through the choke point once again and look for an opportunity to start pushing in. Gonna see how they manage to do this as the rest of the Slow Cooker boys are gonna be up in the high ground. They're gonna start dropping down now, however. Demu is gonna instantly take Symmetra out of this fight, but he's gonna also boot the Zenyatta off of the high ground. Weezing has been forced to reposition himself. Homemade Pizza does barely miss that charge, but he's gonna come face to face with Hasomi now. Does get the better of him with the help of Ace there. Beautiful biotic grenade coming through. Flygon does pick up Weezing in the Alpha Zenyatta fight coming through. Mad May will be... oh my goodness! Beautiful set of shooting coming through from Bri there. Very controlled with his shots as he takes down Flygon as well. That's a self-destruct coming through, and that's no kills going to be secured. I think that's Demu just using that to get straight back in. Overtime coming out now as Symmetra gets the first kill. Homemade Pizza gets the second, and this is all blue on this point at this moment in time. Mad May does manage to jump back in, but Demu and Mad are going to be on the receiving end of some brutal punishments here. Flygon does use the Transcendence to try and get on this point to secure overtime for a little longer, but he's instantly going to be taken out as Hasomi is next to charge in, and that is no progress on that point. But 2 minutes and 11 remain for the Slow Cookers.
All Slow Cooker needs to do is get that 33% on that point, and they will have this first round. If not, we're going to have to go to a tiebreaker, and that's going to be a best-of-1 map on... I forget which tiebreaker map is this season. Regardless, they'll do a best-of-1 on a control point map, which is not exactly ideal. If it at all possible, the Slow Cooker needs to jump this point. They need to get it quick and just secure this win for the first point in this series.
Gonna have to see if they manage to do it. Of course, 2 minutes and 11 is on the clock for the Slow Cookers at the second. Did take them quite a while to secure this point first time around, but as you mentioned, they only need that 33% to take the victory in this first game here.
It took them about, like 2.5 minutes to take this first point the first time, but they had to get that full 100%. Now all they need to do is either push the team off enough or just secure the point by getting enough kills to just take the percentage. What they need to do is get Turtle Eye out of the game extremely early, because if he's hanging around, it's just going to stretch out this fight for a very long time.
Taking a look at the Slow Cookers composition as well, Symmetra's going to be surprising us here, and he's going to take the Winston. Another no-aim champion, I will add, but
Yes.
this will provide the dive going forward. The free tanks coming through, however, as Symmetra will be the first one to dive in there. I'm just going to call him Winston for the sake of this moment in time, as Hisomi will be slept straight away. Weezing going to be looking for the next bit of damage, but Pichu's already going to pick Flygon out and get the execution kill. Turtle does get himself to safety, as Proximo going to be killing off Mirai. Turtle still just doing
Proximo
what work he can, but Pizza is going to secure another kill. They are getting pushed off here. They are getting routed as the Slow Cookers are going to start securing this point. Already a lot of focus here, and this will be our win. That's the Slow Cookers taking the first game.
Turtle Eye with 96% of his ult, 100% right at the end. So close to keeping that time on the clock, but he was unable to get that ult before his team was wiped.
And we're going to have to see, that game was filled with so many great moments. We're going to have to see which moment the game thinks was the best. And,
Pichu.
of course, it's going to be Pichu.
Yeah.
Of course, which one of the many plays did he manage to pull out here?
One.
But so much damage spread out, landing the hook as well onto Turtle there.
Yeah, he just did a lot of damage. He did a lot of damage, a lot of zoning, and got 2 kills. And he's gotten the card for eliminations. 55% of the kill participation on his team with 41 eliminations. And Turtle Eye having that card for healing done.
Huge amounts of damage also coming through from that Roadhog, just showing how much work the pig can put in, and just how strong that scrap gun really is.
Demu had the damage card, though, with that Pharah, who was doing an amazing job that entire game. So, we will be going into the next map with the score at Slow Cooker 1 and OurMercyCan'tRez 0. So yeah.
And we're going to have to see whether we get this all the way over to 3 games. Of course, these teams are very evenly matched up. And, well, I think we're just getting some trash talk. At long last, we are getting some trash talk in the chat. But, of course, we will be seeing whether OurMercyCan'tRez do manage to pull it back in this second game.
Yeah, we will see if they can pull it out. I am sure that they will be able to. It really just is a matter of leveraging their good play as compared to Slow Cooker. Like, both of the teams play incredibly well all of the time, but OurMercyCan'tRez really needs to play up their strengths and minimize the Slow Cookers, which is generally Pichu and Homemade Pizza from what you see, but also Symmetra is a bit of a wild card, sometimes being incredibly on fire, and other times, you know, having a little bit less of an impact, mostly using the turrets for slow and other, like, general junk damage to help his team win. But really, they need to shut down Pichu and keep him from getting such good leverage on the enemy on their own team. If they can't do that, then they're probably going to be out of match in this tournament.
Now, our next map will be Lijiang Tower as well, but before we do quickly head in, just to quickly remind you guys at home, not sure if anybody out there who is watching doesn't know what we're doing here, but just in case, this is another match for the Overwatch University League. The Overwatch University League is a stream and an entire tournament which is set up to helping players, casters, and coaches get better at what they enjoy doing in a competitive environment. If you guys out there would like to know more about the Overwatch University League, you can go to the Discord, which is discord.gg/OW University. You can sign up there as a free agent or to substitute for teams who are needing players for matches or for scrims. As soon as the next season starts as well, you can sign up your own team and get yourself casted just like these guys here are doing right now. Of course, if you would like to know more about Energy Being and myself here, we do have our own Discord, which we will be soon adding into the chat. So keep your eyes out for that.
Yeah, the link is in the chat now for our EU Casting Couch Discord community. If you'd like to learn more about casting, or just play games with us, or hang out with us on community nights like our movie night, which this Friday we will be doing another one. Maybe you can put in a movie that you'd like to see, but hey, so, we would love to have you.
And a quick shout out to Socks for the win, who has actually came to us with that idea from previous communities that he's been in as well, which did give us quite a lot of incentive to also do it, and it was a fantastic time as well. We got to see the life of Brian this week around, and there should be more coming soon. Of course, you guys out there do manage to get yourself in. We'd love to have you, and we'd love to have more community involvement with you guys out there. So before we do go in, let's just take another quick stock of what we have here. The Slow Cookers are up 1-0 in their series versus OurMercyCan'tRez, and we're going to be going to OurMercyCan'tRez's home map now, which is Lijiang Tower.
They should be able to get a bit of an advantage on Lijiang Tower, seeing it as it is their home map, especially if Slow Cooker continues to use the Symmetra pick. The Symmetra pick works for them weirdly everywhere. Generally, that's not the case with Symmetra picks, but like if they can take advantage of this and if they can play up their skills as a team with this match, then they may be able to take that point and go to the last map of this series.
I would love to see a third game coming out from these. As tired as I am after a day of work and coming home to cast straight away for more commitments and then coming over to this has really woken me up, and I am really excited to see what both of these teams are able to pull out next.
Yeah. I would love to see some more incredible play coming out of them. We may, well, I'm sure we're in for another good map. We may go to a third one, depending on how this next map plays out as well. And, I mean, for the sake of our voices, maybe just the two. But for the sake of a great game, I'd love to see the third.
It's definitely testament to actually what the Overwatch University League can offer people, actually, because beforehand, during Season 1, I could manage to do 1 or 2 games and then start to get froggy.
Yeah.
But I've been going for about 4 hours now.
Yeah, because
And out of context, that sounds awful.
So,
Please keep that in context as well.
yeah.
I have been going at casting for 4 hours now. Not just going at it like, I'm not even going to go there. We are entering game now, so moving swiftly on as we will be heading into our control point maps over on Lijiang Tower and taking a look at the map we are going to get first. It looks like we're going to be seeing Night Market.
Yeah, we will be seeing that map. I'm just switching the overlay right now and updating the score, but let's see.
Of course, taking a stock at what we have at stake here. This is our week 3 match, and this is a fantastic fixture which does bring a lot of friendly competition. These guys know each other very well. Their teams have met many a times in the past, and we all do play together on quite regular sessions. So taking a look at what's coming in, the stakes are high for bragging rights and also trash talk rights.
Yep. I mean, because they're both in our small community now. They can bring it up any single time that they see each other. But hey, this is a match to see who is, you know, on top of this. Last time these two teams faced against each other, I believe in the actual tournament, it came out that the Slow Cooker won. But we could be seeing, you know, a switch up this time with OurMercyCan'tRez winning the point.
Of course, the Slow Cookers are already 1-0 up, and this is OurMercyCan'tRez's home map, but the fight's already going to be beginning, as that's going to be a very aggressive push coming straight through as 2 picks already picked up here. Symmetra cementing the third down onto Turtle Eye, as that's Mirai finishing off that beautiful dive, and the Slow Cookers taking a very convincing first victory in the fight here.
The Slow Cooker has extremely switched up their dive comp now, because we haven't seen them use dive comp as much because as a team they weren't quite as successful with it before, but now we're seeing Symmetra playing that monkey and Pichu on, of all things, Pharah, and he's doing a fairly good job at it. Homemade Pizza also now taking the Genji. They are doing a triple DPS dive with Symmetra being their main tank, and it's working out well for him.
Homemade Pizza has been playing a lot of that Genji recently, but already taken down to low health, as that's going to be Proximo taking him out of the fight almost immediately, as Somi picking up the next there. Proximo going absolutely nuts here, picking up 3 kills for himself, as Pichu is the last member to be taken down. Flygon gets the kill onto Tracer, and this is going to be the point retaken by OurMercyCan'tRez.
Aze just buying a bit of time for him and his team. They are now up to 39% before OurMercyCan'tRez takes it for the first time, getting that some percentage on the clock for themselves. They are doing a very good job coming into this. It really will come down to who is a bit more aggressive with these picks, because they both have a triple DPS dive, which is extremely meta right now. This dive meta is the best for playing, and if you can coordinate it properly, then you are putting out a lot of damage and doing a lot of work.
Of course, OurMercyCan'tRez do have control of the point at the moment, but this is the Slow Cookers coming in for the second round here as the second bout's about to begin, and Pichu getting the second kill, breaking it down onto the fight, getting the extra shield. Rez does come through from Turtle Eyes, already securing another pick off on the backside there. Pichu finishes off the monkey, and this is going to be, from the looks of it, another fight going in the favor of the Slow Cookers, but that's Madmay taking out the Dragonblade Proxmo with the two-man Deadeye, and the third kill with his own aim. Pichu will be using that barrage, but only gets the one kill. Essentially, OurMercyCan'tRez still in control of this fight.
Some incredible play coming out from both sides. At one point, you just thought it was going to... Pause coming out from the team. At one point, you just thought it was going to go to the Slow Cooker because Pichu got so many kills. There were so many kills coming out, but then Turtle Eye just reses and takes it back immediately. The momentum is right back on their side. And Madma and Proxmo are doing an incredible job of this main DPS, well, quote-unquote main DPS role for their team. Demu just putting down supporting fire and getting that damage out for them to pick up.
Of course, as you mentioned here, that Mercy Res was something which really took control of that last fight, and Turtle already has 52% of the ultimate charged again already, so we have to imagine that there's going to be a hell of a lot of focus on getting him killed again.
It's going to be an uphill climb for them to deal with that Mercy if they can't focus that target down, or if they can't find that target. We know that Pichu is really very good at doing that with the Roadhog, but seeing him on Pharah, the play may end up coming out different. It may just be that they don't have, enough dive to get her down before the fight start.
Of course, dive. Both teams have more than enough dive.
They have more than enough dive.
We can't stop on that.
Personal dive. I mean, like, if Homemade Pizza can't get in there, or if Mirai can't get in there, or Symmetra can't be there, properly aggressing Turtle Eye, if they're not using the dive potential that their team has to take out that Mercy, then they won't be able to take it. Just because you have a dive comp doesn't necessarily mean that you're aggressive enough to be using it.
Of course, we did also get to see, not just on these King of the Hill maps, but Dive coming out. Another member of our small little community, Ask for More, has been coaching team Don't Blink, and we got to see them during week 2 use not just the aggressive dive, but the defensive dive.
Yeah.
So of course we have to look at the dynamics between this, because of course when that point is taken, your aggressive dive becomes the defensive dive, which is still an aggressive dive nonetheless.
Yeah, it's still a very aggressive dive. It's just how you play that defensive dive that really, makes or breaks you, generally.
I feel like my explanation of that, you know that gif of the guy whose mind is exploding?
Yeah.
The one with the hand expressions? The gesticulation, but gesticulation coming through once again as Homemade pulls out the sword, getting 2 kills alongside Pichu, getting 2 of his own. Mirai finishes off Turtle, and my goodness, that was the quickest team wipe I've ever seen. You blink and you miss it.
That is a clean take, an extremely clean take for the Slow Cookers. Just after we're talking about how if they can't dive in there properly, they're not going to be able to take it. They dive in there immediately, and they take it out very fast. Pichu back on his Roadhog now, which may have something to do with it.
Of course, playing to those strengths as Symmetra and Pichu kills once again. Madmay not getting the break that he really was looking for there. He does have 60% of his ult charge, and Turtle has his ult once again. So that is 2 fights which the side of the Slow Cooker are going to have to get through.
It is enough for them to just run in there and die on the point if they really want to take it back. If they have to take it back when it gets closer to it. But we'll see. They have many ults coming out, or they have many ults that can come out.
That's a feels bad man moment there. Mirai getting that first Turtle not going to be able to use that res in this fight. Madney only trading 1 kill back as Flygon does pick up the slack for the rest of the team. Symmetra going into this does have that beam gun. No aim needed as Proximo will be taken down out of this fight. Overtime now forced as the Slow Cookers still have control of this point. Homemade Pizza going nuts
coming back
with
up.
that dash. Turtle coming back into the fight. That's the 3-man res. This is another fight which the Slow Cookers have to fight through. Demo is going to be using the tactical visor. He gets 2 kills, breaking it down now as there's lots of shielding onto this point, and it looks like OurMercyCan'tRez are going to retake this point at such a crucial moment.
They've used almost everything. The only thing that they have left is Proximo's ult, but if they can keep them off of the point with that ult, then they'll be able to take it. They may not even be able to get back anyway at this
Homemade
point.
Pizza's trying to get in there. He's got it. He's secured the overtime. Fight will be carrying on here, but Diva will be soon. Not long for this world. Going to be using that mech to the best of his abilities and try and be as dippy and divey as humanly possible. Proximo getting another kill there as he is going to be going absolutely insane. Pulling up those pants and carrying hard as Hasomi gets another kill. Mirai going to be forced to use that recall now. Getting back onto the point, but Flygon using the boot for the kill. And that is round 1. Going over to OurMercyCan'tRez.
Man, really, it looked like it was going to come back for a second for the Slow Cookers. They really seemed like that they had it after they got that extremely clean team wipe. But went back to OurMercyCan'tRez. As a team, they are working extremely well together, coordinating these dives.
And dive as well, something which we don't generally see coming from the Slow Cookers. So really good to see that they're incorporating this strategy into their repertoire, let's say. But of course, once again, OurMercyCan'tRez, the star players shining once again. Proximo doing so much work in that first round.
He definitely did quite a bit of work. Also, Demu did a lot, just wasn't, constant calling out potential for him, as there was with Proximo. Proximo just had a bit more impressive kills, but Demu was more consistent the entire time.
And both teams coming face to face once again inside this control back rooms. Server room will be of a brawl, and this will be Homemade Pizza taking that Reinhardt once again, and he's going to be taking that hat to town, but Pichu taking the 1 kill, coming out. Symmetra using her own Symmetra, getting 2 kills. I don't think OurMercyCan'tRez were expecting to see the Symmetra come through there. Just
and
seemed to
another
take
one
very by surprise.
Yeah, they pulled out their regular team composition, and it's working out fairly well for them this time.
It did seem like OurMercyCan'tRez didn't really expect to be seeing that there.
No,
seeing the Symmetra once again, how can you expect Symmetra to be playing Symmetra?
No, never. That would never happen. Not in a million years.
Except for when he's playing,
Torbjorn
and tilting us. Or Torbjorn as well. But Symmetra's going at it once again. Flygon going to be taken dangerously low from that Symmetra there. Does use the Amped up to try and get himself back up to full health. He does have the ultimate available. Proximo will be getting the headshot straight down onto Symmetra. Flygon now using that ultimate as Homemade Pizza is going to be aggressed here. Pichu getting the hook, getting the execute, getting the kill. Flygon still pushed out of this as the Slow Cookers are going to remain in control of this point for now. That's a tac visor that I heard somewhere. No, I'm hearing a nano boost. That's the one as Pichu's going to be going nano hog here onto this point. Demu going to be pushed out and executed there from the scrap. Just flying out of that gun. Turtle does get the 2-man res as that's going to be both DPS players coming back up and forcing the Slow Cookers back. But Symmetra doesn't want to give this up, and Symmetra is going to buy enough time for the team of the Slow Cookers to get back onto this point. 4 members still contesting it though, as the rest of the team coming through. Pichu, what have you eaten for breakfast as you are going to kill off 2 members right away. Demu does get the kill in revenge and response onto Pichu as A's takes down Turtle, and Mirai will be securing this point once again for the side of the Slow Cookers, and it looks like OurMercyCan'tRez just cannot break this defense.
No, definitely the Slow Cookers are most comfortable with their normal pick, and you can see it coming out in this. They have a very good dive, but when they're playing this nice, kind of spread out death ball defense, they're doing an incredible job, and they took that without any contest, really. There was some contest coming into it, but they just did a wonderful job just keeping them away.
And looking at how that was played as well, How do we feel that OurMercyCan'tRez should have played that to perhaps take that point at the very least?
They really need to section out Pichu. Like, they need to make sure that Pichu is dead. There were so many times that he was extremely close or whatever, but Demu was the only one focusing him, or Proxmo was the only one focusing him, and it just wouldn't go down properly. They need to make sure that he's dead. He is the star player. Him and Symmetra definitely do a lot of the work for the team, and if Pichu is down with that Roadhog, there is a lot more chance for them to move in on it properly.
And of course, getting those picks can be difficult coming through. Looks like both teams are going to be not meeting one another this time around, as the Slow Cookers opting for the backside push instead, and that sounded incredibly dirty, but that's going to be some dirty fighting already coming through. Pichu getting that flank, but it's Mirai to pick up 2 kills straight away. Symmetra takes Proxmo out of the fight. No star potential coming from that McCree this time around, as Madmay does get forced into the suicide there, and that's a feels bad, man.
Yeah. Feels bad, man. It's a bad moment for you. But hey, you'll bring out better ones. You guys are good. They hadn't even capped the objective at that point. They just wanted to make sure that the other team was off. Oh, and the hook immediately.
Disgusting as Hasomi
And a bad
also
jump.
jumps to his death. So
That will
looking
be a
at this,
delay.
it looks like OurMercyCan'tRez seem to be beyond sorts here. Maybe going to be needing another tactical pause to come through to just recompose themselves.
Demu pulling out that Reaper now, definitely a thing that they chose most likely to take out this Roadhog. The Roadhog needs to die, or else they're going to have continued problems.
We've definitely seen Pichu actually do a lot of work against Reapers in the past. That was one of our personal funniest moments when he managed to tilt somebody into reporting him to the officials of the league. But whilst we're talking over this, OurMercyCan'tRez getting back into this fight, already picked up 4 kills here. Symmetra will be using the Winston Primal Rage, however, to try and create some space. Demu will be the first man taken down by that, and the casualty is not going to mean too much, as
Oh,
it looks like the
Madma
rest of the Slow Cookers
taken out.
are not able to get back onto this point. Clean retake.
Yeah, Madma isn't on the point, so if they have any ability to, Slow Cookers need to get on now while they're still lacking a player on the enemy team. Oh, Pichu goes down to a headshot.
Proxmo has been on fire with that McCree so far. The 6-shoot cowboy just needs the 1 shot at the end of the day, and he manages to take Pichu out of the equation once again. 57% is currently the score, however, so we have to see whether OurMercyCan'tRez are able to keep control of this objective.
This is a
Fight
best
coming straight through. That's going to be 1 self-destruct going into the back. Homemade Pizza does get back into his mech straight away, getting the push straight through, as Pichu going to be using that whole hog. Turtle does get the res onto Proxmo. That's the star coming back up, and Demu going to be killing off Pichu. Proxmo with the 2-man Deadeye. OurMercyCan'tRez showing their star potential and keeping control of this objective.
Mirage is jumping to his death to get this over faster. Definitely a good play for his team. Symmetra jumping back, but Hasomi went out for him, wasn't able to get him, and it is back to 6-6 on both sides. Though, Demu nearly has his Death Blossom, and we'll see if he can use that effectively to take out a few members of the enemy team.
We did get to see Demu actually pumping a lot of shots into Pichu. Just the amount of focus that he put on really confirms that they are terrified of Pichu's Roadhog.
Yeah, Pichu's Roadhog is generally what's shutting them down, and it's a good play for them to keep away from it.
And they're going to start pushing in. Homemade Pizza will be
Oh,
leading the
Flygon.
charge. Mirai takes Flygon. Immediately, Homemade Pizza with a beautiful charge onto that Reaper. Chance, perhaps. Turtle does get the respawn, however, the res does come through. Mirai does take Proxmo out of the fight almost immediately. They're not going to be available for this fight, as it looks like 1-1 and overtime going to be coming in. Madmay and Mirai getting kills of their own, keeping this fairly even, but Weezing's going to keep the score and put it in favor of the Slow Cookers. Slow Cookers now controlling this point once again. 99-62 now, and Homemade Pizza getting the fire strike kill and looking for Reaper next. Oh my
That was
god!
such a beautiful end of the chain hook. You rarely see them using the maximum amount of that range, but Pichu is so good at that.
just knowing the range there for definite coming out to his advantage, and we are going to be seeing 81% on the board. No real ultimates coming out of OurMercyCan'tRez to retake this point. Are they going to do it dry? We'll have to see. But we are going to be going in dry once again as Pichu going to be getting the kill down onto Hisomi, but one traded off straight away for Proxmo. Pichu getting another kill down onto Demu. Proxmo, however, 2 once again with the Deadeye. That's going to be a one-person advantage as Proxmo kills the third of Wheezing there. Homemade Pizza will be looking for Turtle Eye, but he charges himself off the edge instead, breaking it down from Flygon, getting the shield for the rest of the team as Proxmo kills Mirai off in the back line. Reaper still looking for more, but it's Proxmo who's really showing the damage as this is 99 to 99 and overtime once again going to deplete, and that's OurMercyCan'tRez going up 2 to 1 here.
This is a best of 3 though, and if OurMercyCan'tRez can pick up this last point, we will be going to the last map of this series. But if the Slow Cooker can pull out another win, we will go to the final decider of this map. Back in Night Market now.
And this was the zone of one of our most interactive fights coming through these teams. Not going to be seeing another full dive composition coming out of the Slow Cooker, which I'm quite sad about. That was incredible to watch.
It was really fun to see them do that, but we do know that these are their comfort picks, and it is working out very well for them, even against the dive. They just need to be able to adapt to Demu on that Reaper.
Adapt and perhaps survive, as it looks like both teams are going to be not encountering one another. Once again, Slow Cooker opting to get onto this point straight away, allowing that Symmetra to start setting up turrets. But Hisomi will be on the Winston and will be looking for the fight, and it's Pichu to get the first hook. But Madmaid will trade it back as Proxmo kills off A's as well. This guy's aim is ridiculous.
Demu moving in, taking some laser damage. Symmetra is definitely good about setting those up early on in the match.
And that will be point secured for the Slow Cooker as well, as looking forward. We do have Wheezing just running around. Pichu now looking for the flank and looking for some hooks. Does find Turtle Eye! Doesn't manage to get the kill just yet, and there we go. He secures it right now, as Turtle will not be able to use that res in the fight. Managing to get some more capture point objective straight away as a result. Demu and Madmay will trade off a couple of picks, and it looks like they're going to be doing the retake from a disadvantage. 75% on that point, but Mirai and Symmetra are going to do the work to keep him off here, as Wheezing kills off Demu as well. Looks like 31 to 0.
One thing that we did not mention, Symmetra teleporter. That's what saved them in that fight. That is so good. Unsuspected teleporters and shield generators are so good for pulling them out of jams.
We usually expect to see something like a shield generator if we're going to see anything on this point, but the teleporter, as you say, definitely coming as a bit of a surprise, as Turtle will be trying to levy that teleporter advantage by having the res at his disposal here.
Also Symmetra using the new skin, which I do have to say looks incredible. I'm so happy.
Oh my goodness! Hisomi charged straight into a wall. Proxmo getting another 2-man Deadeye flop, getting another. But Pichu will be cutting the slack here. 3-man res comes through from Turtle, breaking it down now as the Flygon will be using that to secure quite a lot. 3 ultimates committed, as that will be point retaken at 75 to 2% now.
And the teleporter now has been found and destroyed. Sadly, with Homemade Pizza coming out and getting booped to his death.
There's another feels bad man.
Yeah, they do have a 75% on. They do have 75% on the scoreboard, and that gives them a pretty substantial lead. If they can just retake, then they'll probably be okay.
Could also see the Nano Visor come out from Mirai and A's on this retake, which could be absolutely deadly going into this if Hisomi... Oh, there's the Tactical Visor coming out. Nano Boost goes onto it, and that's a huge... What the hell, Pizza? You just got 2. Mirai gets 2, and that's a very clean retake. So many taken off the edge. Even if the res was there, it wouldn't have been able to solve anything.
Yeah, Turtle just came onto the point to get a little bit more percentage for his team, but... really honestly isn't enough. He may be able to get some percentage going into this last fight though, and if he can get that res up, he's going to have to make the Slow Cookers work for their money getting that.
Oh,
Oh my
Pizza!
god!
My goodness, that's 3 men on the floor, and that's Pichu cleaning up house here, cleaning up stock. Demu will be taken
And
out,
that's it.
and we're going 2-2. This is
One
now
more map.
match point.
One more map. If the Slow Cooker wins this, they take the entire thing. Doesn't matter how hard OurMercyCan'tRez has fought up until this point. If they do not win this next one, it is over. And this was a map won by the Slow Cooker as well, so it may be stacked in their favor coming into this.
Of course, this map does very much play into the style that they really like. Symmetra has so many places where she can set up, Pichu has lots of angles of approach, and of course Homemade Pizza is able to create that shield wall absolutely anywhere here.
He definitely can, and he has a lot of natural barriers to help him keep his shield up a bit longer and able to play around and knock people into the walls, different things like that. He has a lot of stuff that he can play around with.
And we're going to start this fight off straight away. Control Center Mirai getting that first down onto Demu, still on that Reaper. If only Sindane was here and we Reaper fetishists to go into this. Madmay will be switching it up, going onto that Zarya, getting the first pick for himself here, but Mirai and Pichu doing the rest of the work, as that's going to be Mirai stepping onto point first, going to be waiting for the rest of the team to come in so they can get this nice and easy first cap in.
Definitely, that was very easy for them. They love fighting in that back room. That back room works out for them every time, it seems like.
Of course, server rooms, not really the best place to fight in real life, but on this game, definitely going to play to the Slow Cooker's advantage. Not going to see a Slow Cooker in a server room anytime soon either, but Hisomi is going to be trying to find Symmetra here. Typically, the Winston wins that duel, and he has just displayed that straight away, but Pichu also demonstrates one of Winston's weaknesses, that Roadhog, and this Roadhog in particular is absolutely nuts. Turtle does get the kill down onto Homemade Pizza, however, as the fight's still going on, and OurMercyCan'tRez putting up one hell of a fight to retake this point dry.
Yeah, they took it back. They are down by 38% at this point, but if they can hold it, they may be able to take back that percentage advantage before the Slow Cooker can react properly.
Of course, there's still a lot of fight to come out of both of these teams. Aze does have his nano boost available. Symmetra, Mirai, Homemade Pizza, all good targets for this. It's just who is going to be able to get into that fight first. Might even see the Boostio come through. I'd love to see that personally, but this is business right now, and business, no fun. That's the hook. Madmay pulled straight in. Homemade Pizza gets that huge Earth Shatter, but Demu going to be using the Death Blossom. Gets 3 kills straight away. Huge defensive ultimate in a nice 1-for-1 ult trade, getting more kills from the defensive side of OurMercyCan'tRez, however.
Turtle Eye just hanging outside the point, waiting, not really healing up his team so much so that he can get that res off when it counts.
Goodness, Pizza does take Hisomi out of this fight, but that's going to be Mirai coming straight in here. He's going to be using a lot of bullets, and he's going to be pumping everyone, but the hammer's really the thing that's winning here.
Oh, Turtle Eye
is the
taken out.
one to be slept and nailed into the ground.
Turtle Eye
Nailing
taken
the
out
Mercy.
way before he could use his ults. That is such a shame.
And Reinhardt nailed Mercy, definitely something we can probably use in the future, but we're not going to use that anymore, as going forward that point retaken by the Slow Cookers
When
right
you've
now.
got a hammer, everyone else is a nail. But hey.
Well, I mean, I wasn't really going for that one personally, but...
that is his voice line. And that's what I'm going to stick with.
Homemade Pizza is going to be sticking his hammer onto this point, and we are going to be seeing just how much defense he can put through. Hisomi will be the first one to jump in, however, and that's going to be Madmay using the Zarya ultimate. 2 kills secured off of that one engagement there, but Pichu's going to be trading it back alongside Homemade Pizza. Tank's doing a lot of work, but Madmay and Proximo still proving just how much work they can do. Homemade Pizza with the ground pound, the charge. Turtle Eye comes in for the 3-man res, however, as Proximo straight back up and straight back shooting, as his straight gun is going to get a nice kill down onto Symmetra. Retake again from OurMercyCan'tRez.
There are 2 ults on the side of Slow Cooker, and they have a very big advantage. If they can get one clean team wipe, they will be able to take this to the end and win the entire series.
Symmetra now switching over onto the Reaper for herself. Now looking at this, we do have A's coming through. Hisomi jumps up to the top to try and scout out, but Homemade Pizza's leading the rest of the team through server room. Now coming downstairs, Demu will be first on the chopping block. Pichu gonna take Proxima out of this fight almost immediately. Flygon does use the Lucio ultimate to try and secure some advantage and does get one kill down onto Pichu. Symmetra trying to find the shots, but he's taken out of the fight by the big beefy Russian. That's gonna be Mirai now using the nano visor, tries to engage and tries to get kills back, but Demu using the ultimate once again, and Reaper securing this point, and it looks like OurMercyCan'tRez are going to be forcing the Slow Cookers into a final game.
That is it. That is a final game coming out for this. This series has gone on longer than we thought it would, but I am very happy to see such good play coming out of both of them.
And Turtle, the GM Mercy main, getting his play of the game. That's going to be the 3-man res that we did get to see at the end here, followed by quite a lot of healing onto priority targets and also steering nice and clear of that Symmetra. Once again, great positioning and cheeky 1 damage at the end there.
Yeah. And OurMercyCan'tRez taking 3 of the cards at the end of this, but Mirai taking it for the most eliminations, and he deserved it because he was on fire that entire time.
56 kills. Soldier doing absolute work throughout that series, and we will be heading over to our neutral map for the week now. So taking a look at this, neutral map for week 3 is Route 66.
Which is one thing that we haven't really seen either of these teams play too much, so could be entirely neutral. We have no idea who has the most practice on this map and who has the most interesting strategies, though we do know that Symmetra has some very weird things for maps just like this.
We've seen Symmetra play very interestingly, let's say, some very off-meta picks, and speaking to Symmetra before, from all of his gaming experience, he played League before, and he also did off-meta stuff there, so he's really sticking to his guns, and it's been working very well for him.
We do know that he has a second account where he plays, what is it? He plays attack Torbjorn and he plays defense Winston. Like, that's specifically what he plays as on the account, and he says that he's going to be able to get it up to master, and I believe him. So, he's definitely all about it.
If you listen closely enough, you heard somebody sigh at that announcement right there.
Yeah.
You heard somebody sigh, somebody tilt, and somebody pour a ton of salt over their head and probably suffocating in it right now as we're just quickly having a bathroom break from the side of OurMercyCan'tRez. I will add, not together. But that aside, as we're going into Route 66, which will be neutral ground for this week, who do we feel has the advantage going forward?
Honestly, I think that the Slow Cooker has the advantage. Because we know that they can play hybrid maps because they're extremely good with hybrid maps. And I think if it comes down to it, they have the best skills for pure pushing. They have a much stronger defense. They have a much more concise non-dive attack. And I think if they both go with the non-dive attacks, then it's going to come out with the Slow Cooker winning.
I think that's very hard to argue with going forward as well, considering some of the things that we have seen from the Slow Cooker and their unconventional playstyle. It really has pushed them forward and propelled them in every series they've played so far. We've seen so many 2-0s coming out of them that their momentum plays are usually absolutely huge. Of course, OurMercyCan'tRez proving that they can diffuse that momentum going forward. But we do see very standard team compositions, and they can seem to struggle against the off-meta picks, which the Slow Cooker bring forward.
Yeah, the Slow Cooker is definitely all about the weird meta pick, because they always have, Symmetra or some interesting pick coming out on their team for the most part, except for, their dive composition. But with their regular standard setup, they always have something really odd coming in, and it's really hard for a team who isn't expecting a Symmetra to come in and deal with that. And even for the teams who do expect the Symmetra, because they should, they just don't play against it enough at such a high level to be able to, handle it properly. And I think that might give them an edge in a lot of the things that they play in.
Of course, another thing that we have to bear in mind, the off-meta stuff that we do get to see coming through from the slow cooker. In the backdrop at the second, we do get to see some Hanamura going through. And you were there with me, you were casting at the same time, but
Yep.
Symmetra was subbing in, and Symmetra put the teleporter just below the second point.
Yeah,
And
in that like health pack area.
yeah, and that took the defending team such by surprise that they managed to cap the point almost completely stealthily before there was any reaction coming.
Yeah, they just didn't know to drop down onto the point because the attack was entirely unexpected. And by the time that they did, one or two people went in early, died early, and then it was over. There's no point to that at that level. But, I mean, OurMercyCan'tRez does have some amazing players on their side too. Demu has been showing his skills with this Pharah the entire game. Madman knows what he's doing. Proximo has such an incredible aim, and Turtle Eye has really gotten them out of some crazy situations at this point. This homie's been doing fairly good. I do wish that, like, in the first round, he was caught out a bit less, but we do know that he is a very solid Reinhardt. He's just being taken advantage of by Pichu and Homemade Pizza at the moment. It's kind of a hard combo to come up against, having two huge tanks with giant health pools, trying to CC you and pull you around the map.
Of course, nobody really wants to come up against Pichu anyway. This guy has shown just the caliber of play that he puts on the table, and honestly, the caliber that he puts on the table generally breaks it, and has broke most of the competition he's really come up against so far. Though, of course, one thing we do have to say from the side of the slow cookers is when they lose, they tend to lose quite hard.
They do. They generally, it's a fairly, obvious, oh, okay, going into this is going to be, a stomp if it comes out that way. But it's not been coming out that way for them this time. It's been more of an even fight coming into this, and it's interesting to see it coming out of these two teams. Because generally, if they're not facing each other, they are usually taking advantage of the team that they're fighting against.
Exactly the case. And of course, we will be seeing the slow cookers starting with the attacking here. Did a quick coin flip for the guys, and it's going to be the slow cookers. No moving up of the teams even needed, so quite fortunate for our production side going into this.
Yes,
And it looks like they will be sticking with the standard composition that we have got to know and love so well with the attack Symmetra.
Yep, the attack Symmetra is coming out. I am expecting some teleporters or some very interesting shield generators, because we know that Symmetra knows where exactly to put those shield generators to get it maximum distance for the entire push. Not just going to put it down willy-nilly and have it, cut out right before the end. They are not about that life. And it works out for them. They know how to place it, they know when to place the teleporter and when to place the shield generator. And, I mean, you would have to play at such a high level like he does.
At this point in time, I'm more expecting to see teleporters just because of how off guard it really is and just the amount of flank potential that does come through from it. Just a quick sorry to you guys at home, we are heading straight into the game, into a pause as Symmetra's mic has unfortunately died. The radiation from the gun probably cutting it out. So we're going to have to see that gets fixed nice and quickly. I'm sure that Symmetra will be able to sort that out for us straight away.
You can't put a microphone through a car wash so frequently and expect it to come out the other side. It's just not how it works.
Of course, speaking microphones as well, have you started using your mod mic just yet?
I have that in the same shipment that my camera is in, which came in today. So tomorrow I will have the mod mic for my nice set of headphones, and I won't have to worry about my giant Blue Yeti anymore.
Of course, that is a slight announcement coming forward going into the mainstreams going forward. EU has been particularly known for not using the cameras going forward, due to a few issues going into it and some setup problems that they can cause. But coming up from next week onwards. We will be using cameras going forward, so you get to see our pretty faces whilst we try and not make some very stupid faces on stream for you. Might even dress up if you guys are lucky.
I'm not going to promise that I'm pretty. I'm just going to promise that I have a face and that it will be speaking.
I can promise I have a face.
Yes.
That's one thing we can go forward with. Of course,
I'm not a creepypasta. I am a human energy being, and that's how it works.
Do look out this week on the Overwatch twitch.tv/OWUL University, where Energy Being will be casting alongside one of our newer casters, Tough on Dirt, who did a fantastic job on the Americas stream last week, and I have no doubt that he will gel so well with Energy, I may very well lose my job.
I mean, hopefully it works well.
Hopefully I lose my job.
No.
Okay, thank you, Energy.
No. You can't be replaced, but...
Looking at this already, Big Earls is going to be the defensive point from OurMercyCan'tRez, as they are keeping this very nicely up here. Hasomi just dipping and diving around the Big Earls side. Does get pulled in by Pichu, however, and that's going to be Turtle dashing over to him with that Guardian Angel. Hasomi is now forced to drop down onto Homemade Pizza, who's being pushed back quite consistently here, but Mirai and Pizza and Wheezing all getting a lot of work done. Mad May is going to be hooked in by the Roadhog from the wooden ledge. Homemade Pizza jumping back and Wheezing getting the kill. Symmetra pushing forward as well, and this is a very successful attack. Going to be crippling the defense from OurMercyCan'tRez, but Turtle does have the res available, and there it is. 2 men straight away as Hasomi starts to drop down. Perfect timing on the Q press there as Hasomi goes into the Nano and is pulled in by Pichu, but this is Hasomi turning this around. Does get slept, however, and Pichu forced to heal up. Looks like defense has managed to get themselves back together and get in a position where they can push the Slow Cookers back.
Definitely, the reses from Turtle Eye are enough to just switch this fight back. It is one definite characteristic of res that it's just so powerful that at pushing back the enemy team, you can use it in such interesting ways to just, either do a tempo res, get your team back up together, just to have your team together, or to res in the middle of a fight and swing it in your favor, which Turtle Eye is so good at.
The timing I would like to point out as well, but Proximo is going to be using his ultimate, pumping it mainly into Homemade Pizza's shield here, as Wheezing is going to be forced to use the Transcendence. Pichu, sneaky Roadhog alongside getting that one-man Deadeye kill once again. Pichu the Nano Hog, however, is going to kill off Hasomi in the backline. Turtle doesn't have that res available to him just yet, and he's going to get focused out very quickly by Ace as the Slow Cookers have pulled their attack together once again, and they are going to secure the point. But I was going to say that it looked like Turtle was saving the res just for the moment when the rest of the team started dropping in, just so there was the entire team back together at the same time, rather than a disjoint.
Yeah, he's definitely very good at timing it so that he gets maximum potential out of everything that he does. And that's one of the reasons why he works out so well. It's one of the reasons why he's so high, is that he knows exactly when and how to use it in addition to everything else. Mirai getting a headshot with a Widow, which we didn't know he had. I didn't, anyway.
The Super Sniper pick coming through and doing work already. Going to be getting the advantage straight in their favor. Hasomi pulled in, gonna be slept, gonna be fried, and then he's gonna be killed at the very end. Jesus Christ, that sounds like a very bad way to go down, but Pizza is gonna be pushing this cart forward continuously. No real contend coming through, as it looks like OurMercyCan'tRez are having great difficulty getting themselves together, as A's will be the one to take Turtle Eye out of the fight, so no res can be used here. That's gonna secure even more pushing potential from the Slow Cookers, as Demu does go for the aggression, but Pichu picks up on it and punishes it appropriately.
And Hasomi just coming out by himself, which may not have been a great idea. He may have just wanted to stick back with his team. They aren't playing at their best right now. We know that they can do a lot better. But, I mean, it's working out very well for the Slow Cookers. They're just pushing in. They're having no problems pushing into the second point. And going into the third, they may have an advantage as well, with that nearly 4 minutes on the clock.
huge amount of time to go forward with this, and with the momentum that they've gained in these first 2 points, or from the end of first point onwards, they have just not stopped. This payload has been continuously pushing, and Pizza is just going to be relishing the time to get that objective time going even further up.
Yeah, he's definitely doing a very good job pushing that payload.
Now taking a look at this, it looks like the fight will be coming through. Pizza does put most of his ultimate into the shield, but what he didn't put in there goes straight down onto Madme Zarya, and the fight coming through thick and fast now. Turtle with a free-man res, trying to keep this team fight alive. Pichu gonna get slept as soon as he goes into the nano whole hog. Oh my goodness, Hisomi not going to be taken down by that charge, as it looks like the nano boost did come straight onto him at the most opportune moment, but Pizza going to be swinging that hammer around very aggressively. That's going to be one more Graviton Surge, as that's the Zarya doing a lot of work to put damage across the teams. Once again, pushing forward, very even fighting, as it looks like the Slow Cookers have taken the advantage fully, still keeping this payload in motion. And the teleporter is now coming out as well. Pichu getting the hook down onto Turtle. Tactical Visor will also come down from the flank, as that's going to be Proximo not really finding too much, just a Symmetra on that push. Demu on the defensive. Genji now trying to slice, trying to dice, but going to be taken out by Symmetra's turrets of all things here. Turtle will be getting onto the point to keep the defense going, but that's going to be him taken out of the fight. Bamurai, who gets two beautiful headshots. Nano Boost now coming down onto Symmetra to cut the rest of the respawning members through. Flygon on the receiving end. Proximo now on the receiving end as well, as Symmetra is just pumping so much extra damage that's so unavoidable. You hear her, she is on fire, and this payload is going to be delivered.
I mean, honestly, you need to call it Krankenwagen, because they are in pain. They just went down over and over and over again. And that teleporter at the end, with Symmetra just putting that cheeky teleporter out to get everybody right back up, was enough to push them right into the end, and they have a minute and a half remaining.
The Suffer-Car. Brilliant word. German, fantastic language. Krankenwagen. So, taking a look before we insult anybody's national or nationality or their language going forward, because our pronunciation is atrocious.
Yes.
Taking a look at that, 1 minute 39 left on the clock for the Slow Cookers, as it's going to be their turn to defend, and with their composition, something they are very good at.
Yeah, they are extremely good at defending with this composition. Pichu just BMing a bit, BMing us a bit anyway, and going back and forth between the Hanzo and the Bastion before switching back to his familiar Roadhog.
Familiar is a bit of an understatement at this point.
He is Roadhog in this league. He is the Roadhog in this league, and everyone knows it.
Of course, we do have from this league in this game. We have Turtle, who is the Mercy from the league.
in EU.
We have Pichu, the Roadhog, Symmetra, the Symmetra in the league as well. So quite a lot of big names coming out of this. Homemade Pizza as well, also vying for that top Reinhardt position. And we can definitely see why with the progression that these guys have made.
Homemade Pizza's definitely gotten a lot better going into this season. He knows how to play the Reinhardt even better now. He knows how to get the most value out of his shield and fire strikes, and how to not telegraph his ult as much, which definitely has been helping him a lot going into this.
Of course, these guys also did manage to go up a division when it comes to it, so definitely deserving that, and having to improve to be able to face the competition that's new. Oh my goodness, that's going to be a fire strike going through the Thara there. Brilliant shot coming out of him. Excellent prediction play, let's say for now, as Demu will be using that pharmacy with Turtle Eye just to try and make sure that the interactive gameplay will be something that we're going to see in this game.
And the boop, getting almost everyone off the high ground except for Mirai.
Madme not going to be landing that hook at this point in time, and fantastic turret placement is going to be coming down from Symmetra, but they are going to be starting to be cleared out as Flygon doing that work for everybody else. Demu getting the first pick here down onto Mirai, forcing the rest of the Slow Cookers to drop down. So they're going to have to see how they manage to keep this defense going, as they are currently at a small disadvantage. Respawn has come through, but the rest of the team not there just yet. Proximo going forward. Demu does get the kill down onto Pizza as Hasomi pushing forward, managing to kill off A's. Teleporter is now online, so Weezing will be just holding around the side and waiting for the rest of his team to back him up. Pichu is going to be aggressing straight away. Beautiful hook down onto Demu, but Turtle getting the res. That's going to be Homemade Pizza now, getting that nano boost, pushing forward into this, but he's not able to get all the way there as Hasomi's the one to charge him straight into a wall. Does go purple, does get him down onto the ground. This will be Transcendence next coming through, keeping the rest of the team alive and making sure that the stall is something we will see. Symmetra kills off Turtle Eye. Tac Visor from Proximo does kill off the Symmetra in return, as well as A's on that Ana. Demu is still proving to be a difficult pick to deal with as Demu, oh my goodness, 2 kills straight away, and it looks like Symmetra trying to find a way to get into this, but there's nothing she can do just at this moment, as that will be the first point secured here.
I think they have a bit more time on the clock than the Slow Cookers did coming into this, but if the Slow Cookers can pull out like a strong defense, then they'll be able to whittle away the time, as after the first point, OurMercyCan'tRez really didn't put up much of a fight. They were just kind of going down as a team each time.
So take a look at what's next. We do have that high ground hold coming through the Slow Cookers, something we do get to see quite often here. And taking a look at the next part, gonna be the drops coming down, contesting this corner just a little bit more as Mirai gonna be unfortunately stopped from using his ultimate there, perhaps a little too eager, with a bit of an itchy trick of finger on that.
Playing a Torbjorn.
And once again, Slow Cooker with a fairly good defense coming through, but Turtle gonna be equalizing this with another 2-man res, knowing to get the value and not being overly greedy. Demu hooked in once again as Pichu establishing dominance, and Mad gonna be caught out there and taken out of the fight entirely. Successful defense coming through from the Slow Cookers.
And Symmetra, like I mentioned earlier, on the Torbjorn. It's an interesting pick, but he makes it work. He definitely makes these picks work out for him.
When we have to look at it though, we have to consider most of these picks going forward are legitimate at this point. We can't really say troll picks too much.
No.
Homie Pizza trying to bait out the ultimate there, but Hasomi will outplay that straight away as Pizza gets charged straight into a wall. Hasomi getting another kill for himself, doing a lot of work on that Roadhog, but that payload is not moving just yet, and this is a lot of time left for the Slow Cookers to regroup and get themselves back together, regain that composure and come back into the fight. Proximo will take out Symmetra's next turret setup here. So, gonna have to see how they manage to sort this out once again, as Homemade Pizza's gonna come back into the brawl. And this is just fairly slow fighting across the board here. Oh my goodness, Hasomi does get the charge going straight in as Homemade Pizza is going to be taken out of the fight straight away. Demu uses this as his moment to shine. He gets the kill down onto Weezing as Madmate finishes off Symmetra on that Torbjorn, and this is blue across the kill feed, as that will be second point taken with 3 minutes 20 seconds to spare.
One thing we do have to mention is, like, basically to continue the point that you brought up before, we have to consider these all as legitimate picks, and with Symmetra choosing anything, honestly, like even the really weird off-meta picks that he goes with almost all the time, is pretty much a meta pick for him. It doesn't really matter what he plays them all pretty well. You know when he chooses something, he's choosing it because he can play it.
Definitely the case, and at this level as well, the competition is fierce, and these teams are proved that to us right here and right now, as Homemade Pizza is going to be looking for that ultimate, but that's 2 Earth Shatters at one time, and this will be the Slow Cookers getting the advantage in the fight, as 3 kills already in their favor, but Turtle has the res for Ben, pulled out from the grave, as that's going to be the Necromancer. Mercy doing work once again. Pichu will try to equalize this once again, but it's Demu who's going to be taking him out of the fight. Homemade Pizza's making a case for this, however, as he gets 2 kills, Turtle being one of those. Fire Strike to chase the rest of the members off. 1 minute 39 is what the Slow Cookers had left. 2 minutes and counting is currently what OurMercyCan'tRez have to deal with.
Most likely it's going to come out that if they do push it to the end, they're not going to have much more time or any time compared to what the Slow Cookers has. Just can't make up that amount of time difference.
And Hasomi trying to get any extra push he can. Pichu will be the one to be hooked in. Hasomi right in the mouth with that hammer. Demu with the flank.
Oh my
3
god.
kills coming out from the rocket barrage. And what was that? As Turtle Flygon chipping in onto the kill feed. 1 minute 28. There's going to be some slows coming through, but this could be the end. That's 1 minute 24 to 1 minute 39 as we're going to be heading into round 3 on Route 66.
It came a lot closer than we thought it was going to at this point. They have a very similar amount of time. It's just about who can push it more, faster.
Definitely the case. And now taking a look at what we have next. Let's see who's going to be pushing this first of all. It looks like the defense is going to be OurMercyCan'tRez on defense.
No,
Sorry,
OurMercyCan'tRez
attack.
on
And
attack,
the
yeah.
Slow Cookers will be taking the defensive duties for this round here. So, let's see what happens next.
Mirai is choosing that May pick mostly as a stall, from what I can tell, just to like slow down the enemy team, use that Blizzard to really just like section off the point and do all of the sorts of things that everybody knows, loves, and hates May for.
I think love can sometimes be a strong word, Energy.
Yeah, it can.
You
Definitely
can be
be a strong word.
cute as you want, but you can still be the devil inside.
Eh.
Now, of course, that's a big problem when it comes to Maze, and something that a lot of teams do really hate playing against. But as you mentioned, it's a stall pick, and we are, well, we're not going to be seeing it, unfortunately. But going to be going back to standard pickings, as Mirai once again going to be taking the mantle as the cowboy. Gonna see if he's gonna be making those savage headshots once again. He's got Proximo and Demu to contend with, however.
Proximo just coming out on the side, seeing if he can get a headshot from the top of Big Earls onto the entire big group, but it's not really doing much, just getting some body shots instead.
Very strange defense to start this off from the Slow Cookers, but it's already starting to work. Kills going straight away into their favor. Make that free as Pichu takes out Medme on the backside, pushing them off of this point and getting the stalls forward. Proximo still looking for shots from Big Earls, but he's going to be taken out of the fight by Wheezing. Demu trying to peek over to find anything extra, does finish off Mirai. That's going to be quite a stall for them. So taking a look at this payload moving backwards, 23 seconds, and you have to consider we will be going into overtime no matter what happens here.
Most likely, yeah.
Hasomi going to be eating that Fire Strikers, pushing this forward. He gets the nano boost onto him now, but Proximo will be incredibly getting the first kill. Pizza gets that Earth Shatter, but Demu looking for more. The rocket barrage already up, but taken out of the air. Overtime now coming out as Turtle Eye trying to find position, and he will be looking for the res. Not up just yet, and there it is. We could be seeing that come through as he does get the tempo res straight down onto Proximo, who was just killed, but Symmetra kills him once again. Homemade Pizza going to be hammering the floor once again as Flygon pushed off of this point. Nobody can get in, and that is a fairly small distance covered by OurMercyCan'tRez.
All they have to do is get it halfway to the first checkpoint, and they will have it. That is extremely doable in the amount of time that they have. If they can get a few early picks, and they can just take it back.
59.47 meters. How can OurMercyCan'tRez put up the biggest and dirtiest defense possible?
They really need to aggress that, not the payload, I was going to say the point. They really need to aggress the payload as much as possible. Hasomi needs to not give any ground. They probably are going to need to drop down early and drop down hard and just hold behind the payload, use it as much as possible for cover, and with that Madma on the Diva, just damage negation and tanking is going to be extremely important coming into this. Turtle Eye also needs to be able to build his ult extremely fast, because if he can't get it by the end of this, minute 40, then it's going to be done. because he is the reason why his team is able to pull it back from the brinks of defeat almost every single time we see them, and if he can't do that for his team, they may not be able to pull it out themselves.
Of course, we are going hard, we are going fast, and we are going to be doing it live as we're heading into this, the deciding round of this. Our week 3 coverage of OurMercyCan'tRez versus the Slow Cooker for the Overwatch University League. Now, this movement coming forward straight away, Slow Cookers looking to put another point into the scoreboard and take this series 2-1. OurMercyCan'tRez on the defense here, hiding what they have so far on top of Big Earls, but that will be first corner taken straight away. Symmetra jumping up on top with that Winston now, going to be putting a lot of damage through with that tickle gun. Homemade pizza on the Diva, forced out of this, and this is no ground given by Hasomi, but that's Hasomi out of the fight almost immediately as Proxmo is going to be taking Mirai out of the equation. Pichu gets the hook. This is a brawl. Once again, Symmetra trying to find whatever he can as this Winston still doing the work, pushing everything around Demu, looking for priority targets, but it's Madney to finish off Pichu instead. Demu killing off Wheezing. That's no Zenyatta in this fight, and Aze is the only healer left alive here. They still have 40 seconds and they have to regroup. Madmay will be slept but woken straight back up again as Mirai is trying to find a position. Proxmo now playing that Tracer to be as annoying as possible, trying to get as much time. Symmetra now going to get the nano boost and jumping into the back line. That's a very powerful Monkey now looking for Turtle Eye and going to be taking him out of the fight as close as he possibly can. The res is available. This could be huge for them. Demu using that tactical visor to kill off Ace. Madmay finishes off Pichu as trades across the board. No res used just yet as only one member of the team is going to be killed off. Proxmo getting the homemade pizzas Diva mech straight away. Overtime forced. Hasomi getting a kill, and this is overtime. Going to be very depleted so far. Proxmo kills off homemade pizza. This is the self-destruct. This is going to force people back, and that's the one kill with the self-destruct. Overtime halfway down. Overtime forced back up again, and this is the starter. This is OurMercyCan'tRez taking the point in overtime.
OurMercyCan'tRez winning the entire game. That was so close. It came down to the last few seconds. Oh my god, they didn't even need the res.
Beautiful positioning coming out from Turtle Eye there. Excellent work from Madmay, and Proxmo just putting damage across absolutely everyone. Flygon's last ultimate from that Lucio, making sure that nobody died, giving such a team fight advantage that nothing could happen, and this was one of the tilting plays, if I may say so myself, because my goodness, you do not expect Demu to flank behind and kill off 3 of your teammates and give you so much time for your final attack.
Yeah, that was an incredible match from both of them, honestly. That was so good coming out of both sides.
And that's Turtle gonna be denied the legendary card as well. Demu saying reported to everyone here. Report X11 as we're gonna be heading into our post game. So looking at that, OurMercyCan'tRez gonna be taking the victory there, of course. What do you think that the Slow Cookers really needed to improve to perhaps take that game or make it a little bit, you know, more preferential to themselves?
Honestly, I think at the end, it came down to them not being able to get the healers down as fast. They switched off to their dive comp, and the dive comp, like, even though they're getting pretty good at it, they're definitely not as comfortable on it, and not being able to get Turtle Eye down or get, you know, one of the main healers down, at least on that last push, just crippled them. They could have done it, but unfortunately they weren't able to.
And of course, that is what we have to contend with. And when it comes to it, a lot of these teams going forward can take a look at this VOD and see if they're able to punish even further, or maybe even scout out the teams. We had a fantastic series though, and I have to ask, who do you think is going to be your MVP from the side of OurMercyCan'tRez there?
Honestly, I have to give it to 2 different people. I have to give it to Demu because he had such an incredible job playing on Pharah that entire game. He was actually pulling out ults and making it work for him, and usually that ult is like a suicide button. He even lived through it quite a few times, and you also have to give it to Turtle Eye, because without Turtle Eye, they wouldn't have been able to swing most of those fights. And if it wasn't for those swings, they would have probably lost, the maps that they got points on before, so came down to that for them, I think.
Of course, there were lots of things that happened in both of games, and we hope that next time we see our Mercy take on the Slow Cookers, it will be an incredible series just like the one we have been able to cast, and honestly a pleasure being here to cast for it as well. So I think we can close out quite happy now.
Yeah. If you would like to follow us more or join our community, I am going to post a link to our new EU Casting Couch Discord community in the chat. If you would like to follow us elsewhere, you can follow us on Twitter, or feel free to follow me on Twitch, because that really helps me out. I love it when you guys do that. Also, if you'd like to catch us more often, you can follow the stream here. We do extra game streams here, and we also frequently do the main stream for Overwatch University League, so you can follow us and watch us there as well. Yeah.
Of course, I won't be joining you for that one this week, as it's going to be Tough on Dirt, who will be joining up with Energy Being on Saturday at 3 p.m. GMT for some more beautiful games of Overwatch. Should be 3 whole games coming your way, and 3 action-packed matches at that. Of course, thank you guys for joining in today, and a special thank you to Energy, who was, of course, hosting this stream for us today. Hope that the teams managed to use this VOD as something forward, and we hope you guys at home did enjoy watching this as well. If you would like to catch more of the streams for the main channel, you can follow the Overwatch University League Twitter or Twitch, both of which / or at OWUL University.
Yeah.
Mostly we stream every Saturday at 3 p.m. GMT for the EU games, and there are also NA games which start to go on at 6 p.m. CST. Thank you again, Energy. I've been Daniel Dodge Sandal, and thank you for having me once again.
Yeah, and we'll see you all next time. We're going to post some links and stuff in the chat, and we hope that you guys have a nice day. Until next time.